Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Juan Solo here with Squad Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for another Escape from Tarkov video. So today's video, I'm going to go over everything you guys need to know about Escape from Tarkov. That way, if you guys have not bought it, you guys are wondering kind of what all this game has to offer, I'm going to go over all of that. All the way from basically the different maps, the way your character works, you can play as different characters, your weapon customization, your character customization, all of the loot, all of your stash items, all the trading, where you can actually trade with other people in the game, so you can kind of get new items and trade out old items and stuff. And I'm going to go over all of that for you guys, so you guys can kind of get an in-depth look of how Escape from Tarkov actually works. So it'll give you guys more of an idea of what it is before you buy it, and then it'll kind of give you an idea if you guys want to buy it or not. So let's just jump right into it. Alright guys, so now we're going to actually get into what Escape from Tarkov sort of is, I guess you could say. You know, I had some gameplay going in the background, so once you actually log into the game, this is the main menu. So you have Escape from Tarkov, character, and trading. So the first thing we're going to do is go into Escape from Tarkov, which you go in here, and this is where you pick your player. So your PMC is your main character that you play as. You loot, you get items, you know, you have a stash, that whole thing. And then every 30 minutes you can actually play as a scav. So as you can see here, he has an AK-74U, a actual little vest and stuff, and you will spawn in with that gear set. And if you're able to escape, get out of each raid with whatever gear you have there, you get to keep it all. But if you lose it, it really doesn't affect you because it's not your gear to start with anyway. But your PMC is your main character that you get all of your loot from, out of your stash and everything, and we'll take a look at that in a second. But I'm going to go into here, and these are the 4 maps that are actually available right now in the closed beta. So you have Woods, Customs, Factory, and Shoreline. Out of those 4, Factory is all interior map. It's just a big 3-story, 4-story factory where there's different levels and a basement and all that stuff. Customs is more of a lot of buildings and stuff. And like I said, I'll try to show you guys some gameplay in this video. If not, you guys will definitely be seeing gameplay of that very, very soon on the channel. And then Woods, very rural environment, a lot of woods, a few cabins, a few buildings and stuff. And then Shoreline, there's a few big estates and some like harbors and stuff, but for the most part it's pretty wide open. Personally, I'm Factory and Customs guy. I did play a few woods runs. I have actually yet to play Shoreline. I would like to do that with a bigger group of players, because that's where your big guys usually go, that are fully decked and fully armor, you know, big guns and stuff. Usually go Shoreline and Woods. So now we're gonna go back. Actually, we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward one more, and then you can actually enable offline mode, which makes it so that you don't get to keep anything you find, and then also you can enable PvE, which makes it so that there's not actually anybody else on the map except for the NPCs, because in this game, guys, there are NPCs and real players on the map at the same time, just so you guys are aware of that. And then if you go to the next step here, this is where you can insure your items. You can insure your items, like for instance, I'm going to insure my AK-74U. It's got the stock, the red dot and everything, and when you insure this item, what this does is if, for instance, you die on the map and nobody loots your weapon, eventually you'll get it back. You will get it back as long as it's insured and nobody actually takes it out of the raid. If you throw it on the ground in the weeds, nobody finds it, that sort of thing, you basically will get it back at some point. Within 24 hours, you should get that item back as long as nobody takes it out of the raid. And then if you go next, this is sort of the lobby screen where you can party up with friends, up to 5 people in a group, which would actually, most maps would take up more than half of the actual real players that will be on the map, because I think the highest amount is on Woods. Woods and Shoreline, I believe, can have 9 real players on the map, and then a bunch of NPCs that are fully armed and stuff. So if you could get into a 5-man group, you would have more than half of the people that are actually on the map. So now we're going to go back to the main screen here, and we're going to go to character. So character over here is basically everything that you have outfitted on your character. You can have 2 primary weapons, a pistol, and then you also have a melee weapon. And then you can choose to put on a headset, which what this headset does is it makes it so that gunshots are quieter, but you can hear all of the other sounds that are going on around you much more crisp. So you can actually hear people with people making footsteps and stuff. You can hear them, you know, a lot more distinct of what direction they're coming from and from further away. And then goggles, this most of the time is just, you know, cosmetic. It doesn't really give you any armor or anything, but it makes your dude look cooler. Helmet, you can have all sorts of different helmets. Like this one gives you 100 armor, or I wouldn't say armor, but it's just that's the actual what do you call it? That is actually how durable the item is, so it doesn't actually give you any armor. This one doesn't, but I will show you guys like this. This is the Kiver. This actually gives you quite a bit of armor. It's actually an armored ballistic helmet. I actually have 4 of those. That's like the best armor helmet in the game. This is your standard regular chest armor. This isn't very good, but this is kind of the generic what most people are going to have. There's a couple versions of this that are better. I think there's a fort. It's called a fort armor, which is very, very good. You can take a lot of bullets to the chest if you have the fort armor on. And then here is your primary weapon slot. As you guys can see, here is my AK-74U. And then I can also choose from all these other weapons that I actually have in my stash here. And there are 4 different pre-orders, guys, just so you guys are aware. Each edition, the higher up editions will give you a larger stash, and then also your gamma container. So this container here, whatever items you put in this container, you cannot lose, even if you die while you're out in the world. I actually have the highest edition of Escape from Tarkov, so I get the gamma container, which gives you 9 slots. So it's a 3x3 slot area that you can put items in that you cannot lose. If you get the first 2 editions, it's an alpha container, which only has 4, and then I believe the beta container is if you get the 3rd highest edition of the game, it gives you a 3x2, so it's a total of 6. But this thing here, you're going to love this thing. Normally, I just put my medical kit in there. That way I don't lose it, because this is the best medical kit. And then you have your chest rig, which I usually put my magazines in. And then you have all sorts of different backpacks. So here I have a duffel bag. Then you can see here that there's a MBSS backpack, a tri-zip, which is the biggest backpack in the game. And then you have the scav backpack, which is a little bit smaller than the tri-zip. And then you have some of these other ones and stuff. So I believe I got them up here. Yeah, the tea bag. Yes, guys, it's called a tea bag. It's a 9x9 or 3x3, so it's 9 slots. It's the same as your gamma container. But overall, this is kind of how your stash works. Like I said, the bigger editions of the game you have, the bigger your stash will be, and you can pretty much put all items in here. So as you can see here, I have my currencies. I have almost 200,000 ruples, which is kind of like the main currency of the game. And then you also have American dollars depending on what dealers that you go to, and I will show you guys that in a sec. I have a few attachments here, some pistols. This is your fort armor. That's the best armor in the game for your chest. Some gold chains and a bunch of keys. Keys are very important because these keys will get you into certain doors in certain maps that have very, very big impact on gameplay. And then you can see some more pistols, all my medical supplies here, different medical packs, painkillers, and then some other things. Splints, for instance, if you get shot in your arm and your arm fractures, you need a splint or a grizzly medical kit to actually repair that so you can keep going. Some more chest rigs so you can actually put magazines. These right here are actually the same size, the BlackRock and the AVS. Backpacks, a bunch of M4 ammo. Some shotgun ammo, and then all my different weapons. So you have the AK-74N, my AK-74U, a couple M4s, a couple more AK-74Ns, and then a couple more Saiga shotguns, and then some magazines for my AK and stuff. And overall, this is kind of what I have in my stash, and then you can pretty much just pull out of this stash in here, and then when you actually get out of a raid with all of the goods, you can add it to your stash, or you can sell it to the traders, which we're going to check out next. So if you go back to the main screen and you go to trading, this is your traders. So there's actually currently 5 of them in the current build of the game. So you have Propor, which he kind of specializes in, you know, the generic ammo and stuff. He's only level 1, so these are the items. I get more items if you level up these traders. You get more items to choose from buying them. And this one has magazines, a few attachments, mostly ammo, and some of the small SMGs and stuff. And then you can actually buy this with currency, as you can see here, or you can trade for it. So for instance, if I wanted this gun and I didn't want to spend money on it, I have to bring him 2 Shankas, 2 crackers, and then 2 apple juices. And then if I give him all of these items, he will give me that submachine gun. So while you're looting in the open world, pay attention to the items that you're looting, because you can also use those items that you wouldn't think that they're really that important. If you save those up and you actually categorize them in your stash, you can buy weapons and all sorts of really cool items with those, you know, things that you find in the open world that really don't have a big meaning other than trading them for guns and stuff, so that you don't actually have to pay a lot of money for them. Next is the therapist. So she pretty much deals in all your medical supplies. Being only level 1, she doesn't have very much stuff. You know, she has painkillers, a splint, some bandages, and some other bandages and stuff. And then also water, guys. While you're in the open world, the longer you're in the map, you will slowly start to lose hydration. So you need to make sure that you keep drinking water if you're in a raid for a long time. Otherwise, your character will start dying slowly once his hydration reaches 0. Next, we have Fence. So Fence is kind of your guy that he actually buys a lot of stuff off of real characters, and a lot of real characters have loot in here that they've sold to him. but he is going to be kind of your last resort. He can only be leveled to level 1. There is no higher level, and he basically pays you less for what you're selling him, so he rips you off. And then also when you go to buy stuff, it's more expensive than the other dealers. So basically both ways he's in it to rip you off. But if sometimes there are some rare items in here that people sell to him, so keep your eyes open for some really cool items. A lot of people sell them in here, and then you can actually go buy them. So he's kind of a rip-off, but sometimes there are pretty cool items in here that you can buy from him. Next is Skier. So currently I have him at level 2. He's going to be the guy that carries a lot of your armors and your backpacks and stuff, and he's got a lot of attachments for your weapons. And then he kind of specializes, at least right now, in some shotguns. And then also here, as you can see here, is an SKS assault rifle, which is not very actually good in this game, but it is kind of fun to plink around with. And he's kind of your guy that if you want to go to for backpacks and armor, that's pretty much his main purpose. And all 4 of these, Prop War, Therapist, Fence, and Skier, all sell and buy in ruples. So the last guy down here is Peacekeeper, and he actually buys in American dollars. So as you can see here, he has got some M4 buttstocks, some other attachments, some grips, MP5 mags, and then there's the headset that allows you to hear footsteps a little bit louder. Night vision goggles, which when you're playing a night map, if you have night vision goggles, it's almost unfair, because if nobody else has them, they can't see you, and you can see them very, very clearly. But the only problem with that is you actually have a green glowing light on the top of your head, just like night visions would be. So it does kind of give you away if the enemy is actually paying attention. And you can see here he has some other items, mostly attachments, a few pieces of armor and other things. And then also he's got a few specialty items here. As you can see here, there's the MPX submachine gun along with the MP5 submachine gun. And here you can actually trade some computer parts to get this, and then also you can buy the guns outright. So those are your dealers. That's pretty much most of those where you get a lot of your gear. You can actually go out, in the open world and kill people and loot items and stuff and get really cool gear, and then go back and sell it to those people, or just get your money's worth out of them and then go in there and buy some stuff. So the last thing we're going to be looking at here, guys, is the weapon modding. So the weapon, like the visuals in this game are so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here and show you guys a fully decked M4 and exactly what the modding looks like. So you'll get this screen here, and then you get an in-depth view of all the parts on the gun. I mean, look at this. And then if you want to just take a peek at the gun in all of its beauty, you just go up here and you turn these 3 things off, and then you get to full shot of the gun, the perfectly gun model and everything. And I think the way they modeled the guns in this game, they look so good. And then, like I said, you can go in here and you can swap out all of these different parts, attachments, bolts, stocks, pistol grips, magazines, receivers, all sorts of different items. So the weapon customization is very, very in-depth in this game. And as you can kind of see by everything that I've been showing you guys, you can see why I'm totally addicted to this game. It is so much fun. And hopefully you guys will stay tuned to the channel, because I hope to bring a lot more content of this game to the channel. So that is pretty much all for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to slap that like button. Also, if you're excited for some more Escape from Tarkov, if you guys have no idea what this game is, make sure to stay tuned to the channel. I am going to be playing it, covering it, streaming it, and everything, because hopefully later this year they're actually going to be getting into the open beta so you guys can play it as well. But, honestly, I am really excited about this game, and it totally has me hooked right now. So also, guys, if you are new to the channel and you guys want to see some Escape from Tarkov, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and Call of Duty World War II, make sure to slap that subscribe button. Stay tuned to the channel for awesome content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.